Salut YouTube! Welcome back to the Not Even French YouTube channel, or if you're new around here, hello, kia ora, my name is Rosie. I am a New Zealander who is currently living in New Zealand but was living in France for 6 years, married to a Frenchie, and is planning to do life between the two countries. So this is absolutely the destination on the interwebs for Francophiles, French language, French culture, all of that good stuff. And if you're interested in life in New Zealand and New Zealand culture as well, there's a sprinkling of that too. Now, in today's video, we are going to be talking about how these two worlds keep coming together and that English words are very much infiltrating the French language. And we know with both languages it goes both ways, right? We have adopted so many French words in English and likewise in French. So if you know how to speak English, I'm going to share with you the English words that French people are using on a day-to-day basis in France. So it's like you already speak some French, right? Because you've got that English down pat. So these English words are already in your vocabulary and they are used in French all the time, which must be quite upsetting quand même for l'Académie Française, which is the body, I guess, dedicated to defining and protecting the French language. I think they know that with globalization, they are sort of fighting a bit of a losing battle in that more and more English just keeps coming in, doesn't it? But hey, this is about the evolution and the shaping of language in real time. We're seeing it happen before our eyes, so let's talk about it. Now, I have to say, I did get some of the ideas for this video from watching some French series, especially sort of like younger, cool, modern ones, and seeing that English being dropped into French slang, French business meetings all the time. One of them was Family Business, for example, another was Call My Agent, and I highly, highly recommend to anyone who speaks 2 or more languages or would like to speak 2 or more languages to use a VPN, because you can actually watch series and news and real life TV like a local from any country. So I use NordVPN, who's the partner of today's video, and essentially just in one click on my browser, I am in France. And I go to sites like TF1, like France 2, and I'm actually able to just watch French TV, news, entertainment, reality TV, whatever it is, children's TV, whatever your level is, like a local, and it couldn't be easier. NordVPN in particular has won a lot of awards because of its amazing speed. So it's literally the fastest VPN out there. Speed tests have confirmed it, and it's because it has over 5,200 servers in 60 different countries. So there's zero lag. Like, you literally just stream as if you were sitting in France or sitting in the UK or sitting in the US or wherever you want to watch their local television. And you can use NordVPN on mobile, on your computer, on Android TV, like Windows, Apple, it doesn't matter, it is across all the major devices. And the cool thing is that NordVPN are celebrating their birthday at the moment, so there is an epic deal. Click the link below. You will get the 2-year plan for over 70% off, plus get an extra month for free. So you definitely don't want to miss out on that. Go forth and become bilingual, trilingual, whatever it is, just by watching TV. It's so fun. Okay, so let's jump into these anglicismes, these anglicisms that are in the French language. There's probably hundreds, if not thousands, but here are some of the most common. Now, this is a bit of a whole category in and of itself, but I'm going to say the words of business. So there are a lot of English words being used in the business context in France, and this is obviously probably more so present in big multinational groups thanks to globalization, but I think it's picking up more and more. And so you've got specific words like brainstorming. So there's actually no French equivalent for brainstorming. And there's a little bit of a joke that I sort of like tease my French colleagues about, which is, you know, in the French education system, you're not really built to be brainstorming and ideating and being creative and imaginative together in groups. You're there to learn and be smart and be educated and all of that good stuff. And so we were like, okay, no wonder there's no equivalent for the word brainstorming. So brainstorming has very, very much picked up in the French language, and you'll hear in business all the time, on va faire un petit brainstorming. Same for the word marketing. Il faut faire une bonne campagne de marketing. We need to do a really good marketing campaign. Ils ont marketé le produit. They've marketed their products. I think the closest French equivalent is mise en valeur for marketing, but marketing is used very, very widely. Even the English word business is used more and more commonly, like je vais lancer mon propre business. I'm gonna launch my own business. And another English word that is crept on in there is feedback. Je vais donner une feedback au prestataire. That's saying I'm gonna give feedback to the vendor or the provider. The proper French for this is retour d'expérience, often shortened down just to rex, but I've heard feedback being used more and more often. In this kind of genre, we've also got le planning. So when French people want to look at the agenda or the itinerary or the scheduling, they'll often say le planning planning, faut qu'on regarde le planning. And you also have le timing. Note, all of these words are still said with a French accent. Even though it's counterintuitive, you can't say the English word with an English accent, they won't understand you. So an example for timing, you might hear tout est une question de timing. Everything's a question of timing. You also hear un briefing, fais-moi un briefing sur ce projet. And there's also interview. Il a donné une interview hier. He gave an interview yesterday. Another one I've heard is overbooké. I'm overbooked, which means I'm completely drowning in work or I've got too much on my plate. The original French equivalent was surchargé. Surchargé. Je suis surchargé au travail. But now je suis overbooké au travail. I'm completely overbooked at work. Now here's something you might hear your French colleagues say. After work. On va faire un petit after work. Which of course means after work drinks. What's funny here though is the hyphen they've added. After hyphen work. So it's its own linguistic entity and it means to have after work drinks. And maybe at the after work drinks, you're going to talk about what you're doing on the weekend. And this is another example of when the French have taken an English word, added a hyphen and Frenchicized it. So un weekend, passer un bon weekend. Now, weekend, to be fair, has been in the French language, I think, for hundreds of years, so it's very much an integral part of the French language. However, it does have those English roots. So maybe you're talking about what you're going to do this weekend, le weekend, and you talk about the fact that you're going to have un brunch. Un brunch. Yes, they have claimed the word brunch. So brunch is quite new in word and in concept. So when I first arrived in France in like 2012, 2013, it wasn't really as popular as it is now. This concept of having a brunch. You know how the French are quite regimented with when they eat and the rules around that. Brunch, you know, sleeping in on a Sunday, eating anywhere between like 11 and 2 for your first meal. That's quite a new concept, but they are adopting it more and more. Especially in Paris, you're going to hear people saying more and more things like samedi matin, on va aller bruncher chez les amis. On Saturday morning, we're going to go have brunch at a friend's house. Now, if you're thinking about what you're going to wear to this brunch, we've got some anglicisms for sure in the world of clothing. So un smoking is a tuxedo, un sweat is a sweatshirt, pull is a pullover, and in the French mind the difference between those two is sort of like a sweatshirt is like a cotton jumper almost, and a pullover is more knitted, I would say. You also have un t-shirt and un string, which means a G-string. They just forgot the G somewhere. I don't actually know what G stands for and I'm not sure I want to. If you're looking for vintage clothes as well, you'll see two words being used. You've got rétro, so retro, and vintage as well. So this one is not said in the French way like vintage. That's how it would be said if it had the proper French pronunciations. So they will say, j'adore cette robe vintage. I love this vintage dress. However, when it comes to a blazer, which they have taken the word for, they do say blazer. T'as la classe avec ce blazer. You're looking classy with this blazer. Now this is a little bit random, but they also say finger in the nose, but always with a French accent, like finger in the nose. And what it means to have finger in the nose, it is easy. Whereas in English, of course, if you're standing around with your finger in your nose, it means you're not doing anything. But for the French, it refers to something being easy peasy. Non, c'était trop facile, finger in the nose. Going back to the world of work for a second, we have un job. So instead of un travail or un emploi, we have un job. Va faire ton job. Va faire ton job. Go do your job. J'ai décroché un job. I landed a job. Another anglicism that has crept into the French language is has been. So just say your friend catches you listening to, I don't know, Johnny Halliday, for example, they might say to you, tu écoutes ce chanteur, mais il est complètement has-been. You're listening to this singer, he's a total has-been. Fun fact, Johnny Halliday's real name is Jean-Philippe Smet. I'm also hearing more and more cute as well instead of mignon. Oh, trop cute. This is something that is more recent and probably in the younger generations as well. Speaking of the younger generations, we also have ma life or ta life. So my life or your life. And of course, the French word for this is vie, c'est la vie. For example, someone might say, mais c'est ta life, fais ce que tu veux. But it's your life, do whatever you want. And entering, of course, into this domain of like youth and technology and digital, we have things like un selfie. Allez, on prend un selfie. Whereas the real French word for this is un ego portrait. This is what l'Académie Française try to enforce, like an ego portrait. It's not going well. We also have hashtag instead of mot dièse. And when it comes to the world of computers, we have un bug, un patch, un hacker. And also when something is loading and it's buffering, you could say ça buffer, ça buffer. I don't mean to laugh, it's just super cute how everything takes on the French accent. For example, Wi-Fi becomes Wi-Fi, Bluetooth becomes Bluetooth because French people don't like the th sound of the TH, so it's Bluetooth. And iTunes becomes, wait for it, drum roll, iTunes. One French term though that doesn't directly translate into English, and I wish we had it, is internaute. So people who spend time on the internet are internaute. And I love it, it's like an astronaut for the internet. It's so cute. We just have like users. If you missed an episode of TV, you can watch the replay in French as well. So you could say, j'ai raté l'émission dont tu m'as parlé, mais c'est pas grave, je la regarderai en replay. I missed the show that you told me about, but it's not a big deal, I'll watch it in replay. We also have un dress code, a dress code. Il y a quand même un dress code pour entrer, hein? Hey, 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 there's a dress code to get in. Just like in English, a commercial failure can be a flop, un flop, mais c'était un flop ce film. It was a flop, this film. And you also have un spoiler, so same thing, a spoiler, like if an article you're reading contains spoilers for a TV show. Non, ne lis pas cet article, il y a un spoiler d'Ozark dedans. Don't read this article, there's an Ozark spoiler inside. Ozark's a great series, by the way. We also have someone who's a fake with exactly the same meaning, un fake. Lui, c'est un gros fake. Him, he's a big fake. We also have camping, to go camping. Faire du camping. And this is a really interesting one, seeing as France is the home of perfumes, essentially. But we also have aftershave. There's no French word for aftershave. J'ai besoin d'utiliser de l'aftershave. I need to use the aftershave. You also have un babysitter or une babysitter, a babysitter as well, same meaning in French. And more bars and restaurants are also using the word happy hour, but I guess because French people don't usually pronounce the H, it's more like happy hour. In my experience though, the happy hour in Paris tends to go for a lot longer than just an hour. It's a whole chunk of the evening. Of course, in the world of food, especially fast food, there are plenty of anglicisms as well. Burger. One time I actually ordered a burger, and I said it like that, and I was completely laughed at by the servers in a French cafe. It was so embarrassing. You have to say burger. Il fait le meilleur burger de Paris. Hot dog as well, but kind of without the H. J'ai envie de manger un hot dog. Another one is sandwich. Un sandwich. J'aurai pas beaucoup de temps pour manger ce midi. Je vais acheter un sandwich. I won't have a lot of time to eat at lunchtime. I'm gonna buy a sandwich. Fast food is a thing as well. Quel est ton fast food préféré? And we also have cocktail. Je vais prendre un cocktail Long Island, s'il vous plaît. A couple more just to wrap things up. We also have boycott, which can also be used as a verb boycotter. Beaucoup de personnes boycottent Facebook en ce moment. A lot of people are boycotting Facebook at the moment. We also have challenge or challenge. It's sort of half said with a French accent, half not. It's not necessarily challenge, but it's not challenge either. Parfois, être végan en France est un vrai challenge. We also have crash, which can be used for an airplane crash or a market crash, for example. Depuis le crash de l'avion, les gens ont peur de voler avec eux. Ever since the airplane crash, people are scared of flying with them. Or for the market crash, you can say le crash du marché. Now, I know this one because of what I do for a living, but the word coach as well is very much integrating into the French language. So we've got des coachs sportifs, which are kind of like the PTs, but me, je suis coach carrière. I'm a career coach. We also have bestseller, which takes a hyphen as well. Il a vendu 400,000 exemplaires de son bestseller. And lastly, you have the word toast. So cheers. So porter un toast is to make a toast at a dinner, at a party, etc. If you're French or living in France, let me know what other English words are making their way into the French language. Leave them down in the comment down below so we can all learn from it. Or if you've just realized that some of the words that you've been using in the English language were French all alone, leave me some of those as well. I love talking about this stuff. And actually next week I have a video coming out on pseudo-anglicisms. So anglicisms that are used in the French language but incorrectly. So definitely make sure that you are subscribed with the notification bell on so that you don't miss my videos. I do post almost weekly, and I've got a lot of exciting content coming up because we're going back to France this year for several months, and I am applying for my French nationality. So definitely follow along for that journey. And until next week, I'm sending you lots of bisous, and à bientôt!